and welcome back to another episode of SKC Live. I'm actually here joined with my amazing, incredible, talented business partner, Alisha.
Hi.
So, we built this whole little empire here. When did we start? Like 2014?
Yeah.
You were still in college.
Yes, I was. I was just finishing college.
Yeah.
I think I was on my last semester of college, yeah.
You're working at the Palms.
Mm-hmm. Hated it.
Why'd you hate it?
Because it was when the Palms was shit. Literally nobody was there. It was like all old people that like would pee in their seats while they were gambling. Like it wasn't fun.
It was like an AARP seminar?
Yeah, it was really bad.
Aw. Aw. So basically, me and Alicia, we actually met working on a big project for Jet Beecher.
Yeah, that was the first project we did together.
Yeah, and she was a little skeptical. So we actually knew each other back when your mom was doing a makeup school.
Yeah, I probably was like 16.
Yeah, it was.
That's crazy.
I mean, she didn't even remember me until everything kind of got like really. Actually, it took your mom being like, "No."
Yeah, my mom had to be like, "No, that's the dude." I was
that's
like,
the guy.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I was actually working as a controller for a production company, and they just happened to be doing it downstairs. And the instructor was like, "Hey, Brian, you used to do photos.
Yeah.
Hey, can you come down and shoot the final projects?"
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you were a geisha.
Yeah, and then I was like a sea monster.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, because I remember he's like, "Hey, you got to get photos of the birthing process." Remember, because when
Yeah.
they rip open the back of the head.
Yeah, I had like a cap on and everything.
Yeah,
it was, like, completely green.
You were green. Yep, I was about to say green.
Yeah, my mom made like little like gills. Like I had gills on my head. It was really cool. She did a really good job.
I still have all the photos somewhere.
That would be wild.
Yeah. You haven't seen them?
No, I have, but it
okay.
would be weird to look at them now.
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you took photos of my older brother too. Do you remember he was Edward Scissorhands?
I do remember.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was actually thinking, I was like, I remember doing Edward Scissorhand, a geisha.
Yeah.
And then there was something else I did. There was a whole bunch of people in that class.
Yeah. That was
But no, it was fun.
Yeah.
So anyways, fast forward, I'm out at Tao nightclub with some clients. I had a hosting company back then, and bam, one of the guys that worked for me's girlfriend actually ran into you and invited you to the table, and I'm like, I know you.
Yeah, and I was like,
I don't know. You're just a creepy guy. I don't know. So anyways, we started talking, and you're like, hey, I'm in college for graphic design. And I was like, hey, let me see some of your stuff. And I was like, oh, actually, it's really good.
Yeah.
So when I had that project that came to head, I was like, you know what? Hey, Alisha, what are you doing? I've got this project, and I'm working out of my place at Turnberry. And after about a week of going back and forth, you agreed to come over, and we knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was like rebranding. And not only that, but we were coming up with like a specific concept for the new rebrand. Do you remember that? Like it was like not only just like restructuring like the way we're presenting them visually, but it was like a new idea around the show.
And that's when we realized that we could work together. And then from there, I already had some other clients I was actually doing consulting for and doing some social media.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, hold on a second. Well, let me go talk to these people and let them know I have now a design arm. And you kind of mocked something up for each one of them, and we presented it, and every single client said yes to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, shoot, now we got something going on here. But the great thing about it is that during that time, we actually picked up a couple other ones.
Yeah. We were able to like bring on more like full service type of clients. Yeah. People that like understood us as a whole instead of like already a social media client for you and then adding design. It was like people that like, oh, you can do the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, and the funny thing about it is that I was doing social, web, obviously the marketing side. You were doing design, some social, and the marketing side. We had like that I would say like crossover, but
yeah.
we were both kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Working out of my condo.
Yeah.
And like literally about 6 months later, we realized, okay, we can't do this anymore. Like we need help.
Oh yeah, when we brought on like our first employee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is actually really, that actually is a funny story all by itself, because I was like, Alisha, I think you should be the one hiring a person.
Yeah.
And she's like, I've never hired anybody. And I go, well, there's a first time for everything.
Yeah.
And I remember we went through a few different people, and you got down to like 2 people.
Yeah,
that you
I had
liked.
actual 2 interviews with people. And I remember like going down the elevator at Turnberry thinking in my head, like, what the fuck do I ask these people?
And actually, I think I remember, I'm like, listen, you have to work with these people, so you have to find out like if you can vibe with them.
No, for sure. It was a great learning process.
Yeah. And actually, the person we ended up hiring was actually with us for a while.
Yeah.
And that was just the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ended up hiring a full-time web person. Oh, no, web person was next.
Mm-hmm.
Mira. Yeah.
Yep.
And then we did social.
Actually, I think it was our salesperson.
You think she
before
was
Mira.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Oh,
because,
Bernadine, huh?
Yeah, I think Bernadine was before Mira, because I remember, didn't we hire Mira on full-time when we were at the Russell location? Was that Russell?
You're 100% right.
Is that Russell that we were on?
No, Rainbow.
Rainbow, yeah.
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 Well, because we're working out of we had a little office space in
10 by 10.
Yeah, 10 by 10, literally, inside Print Las Vegas.
Yep. Uh-huh.
And you're right. That's when we hired Bernadine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we went from there to Russell into a smaller space.
Yeah.
But then eventually grew into more.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah. So, I mean, like literally, and now we're, 5,000 square feet, podcast studio,
Right.
full staff, a lot of employees. And now in 2 cities.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
So, the loaded question I get a lot from people is, what was your favorite project you worked on?
Oh, that's such a hard one.
It is, right?
That's so hard.
I mean, it's almost even kind of like, okay, I've got 5 kids.
I know, right?
All right, which one's your favorite?
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
Honestly, I feel like that might be easier than choosing what our favorite project was.
You're right, though, because we had projects where we did a festival, and we actually got to go and partake in the festival as a customer, even though we were there working. But so we got to build up and the benefits of actually going. Yeah,
and then the aftermath too. That was a pretty cool project. Like figuring out how to market after the festival.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Gone. It's done. Like, how do we stay memorable?
Well, that and leading up to the next one.
Yeah.
No, 100%. We had that one. I mean, we've had restaurants, we've had lawyers, doctors, tattoo shops, nightclubs. I mean, we had trading companies.
Oh, yeah.
Remember old Dr. Cass?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was an interesting one. Well, because, that one was actually interesting only because, he was a character by himself.
Yeah.
But we were developing out his online platform for people to learn how to trade in the S&P 500. But then all of a sudden he's like, hey, I want to get in front of all the people at the World Series.
Yeah, I remember that.
Poker.
Yeah.
And having to contact the World Series of Poker, get permission to even have him be a client, and then go off and find some of the big poker pros to sponsor them.
Yeah.
Outfitting a booth with a bunch of promotional models,
Yep.
Data collection. Like that was
a huge project.
Well, it's 40 days at the World Series of Poker.
Yeah, that was a really big project.
Yeah, no, that was huge. So
especially for where we were at as a company. Like, that was large.
Oh, now it'd be a drop in a bucket.
Yeah.
But there, I think we had like 5 people working for us at the time, maybe 6.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is that was a huge learning curve for us.
Yeah, we learned a lot in that.
But I'm not going to say that that's even on our top 10 as favorite.
I don't think so. I forgot about it until now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was 8 years ago. 7.
7 years.
7 years ago.
2015.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a long time to think, Like, that's not something that I think about daily.
Well, it's 2015 or it was 2016 because we were at Russell Road at that time. So we went from Rainbow to Russell Road. And again, Russell Road was actually our first own office.
Yeah, I like it.
Was own bathroom.
There, yeah.
Yep, only people in it.
Yeah.
We had 2 little offices, a nice little waiting room, and a kind of like a, I don't know, a bullpen area.
Yeah, like an entryway. Yeah.
Yeah. So doing that, but I think that's where we really kind of started kind of setting our eyes on, hey, let's do even bigger things.
Yeah, larger.
So loaded question. Top 3 favorite projects, not favorite clients, favorite projects.
So like I don't know. Well, like I only can think of recent stuff. Like my mind just goes to like the most recent projects.
Okay, how about this? So let's go with what do you think, like what project did you feel like you learned the most from that was more in the scope of like full service of what we provide our clients?
Okay. It's an oldie, but I feel like Revolt has taught me a lot. And I think that it's because we were with them for so long. You know what I mean? Like we started with nothing. Mm-hmm. And then as the growth of that company went, our growth went. And I think like having that relationship with them, like kind of like pushed us a little longer too. You know what I mean? Like we were continuing to learn more and grow more because they were learning more and they were growing more. So it like was like a really good like back and forth.
No, for sure. I mean, Revolt Tattoos, they started off across the street from the old Hard Rock, which is not a Virgin, and a ginormous studio.
Yeah, that was the biggest shop I've ever seen.
I've never seen a tattoo shop that big, ever.
It was huge. It was like a damn warehouse.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, because even the forward facing to the consumer, that was actually huge.
Yeah, and
then they had the whole back
part
and that they never really used. I mean, later on down the line they did, but yeah, now they're in the Fashion Show Mall, they're in the Meadows Mall, they're in Lake Tahoe, they're in Salt Lake, they're in Houston. Now they're growing.
Yeah, they're expanding, and I think also like as a designer, I was able to see myself grow with them too, is because like they were probably one of the first projects I worked on, like as a whole, from like an overall perspective.
Oh no, 100%.
So like I developed their brand, and then it lasted for how many years we're in now, but throughout that time it continued to evolve. And you remember like when they came to us and they're like, we want to like freshen things up, and I was like, what does that mean? Because this is what it is.
Yeah.
And so like it kept like pushing me like a little bit more, as like, okay, how can I think about this thing that I work on consistently on a daily basis in a new perspective?
And I remember it was about 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, it was before COVID, that we were coming up with kind of a new brand, fresh ideas, and all of a sudden we came up and it was the star with a location around it or location underneath it. Was it around it?
It's around it. Yeah.
It's around it?
Yeah.
So, and I remember going, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what we need to pitch to the client.
Yeah. And it was honestly a t-shirt design. Like it wasn't even meant to be like a brand identity, which I think is even better.
Oh no, 100%. I mean, we literally we've done it a couple times with other clients, but yeah, I mean, watching, because it used to just be Revolt Tattoos spelt out, kind of like layered on top of each other on the side.
Yeah.
With it, and then the star, that if you look at the star, it was actually an R.
Yeah, it has like half an R on it. Yeah.
But I mean, just watching that whole brand even evolve.
Yeah,
you're right. Sure. I mean, we still do obviously a lot of work with them, a lot of their branding, a lot of their design, obviously their website. I love that one. Obviously, I mean, that's the oldest client we have.
Yeah.
I mean,
full service from scratch client that we have. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we even have construction photos when they were building out their very first shop.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and in the beginning, I mean, it was really easy to work with Joey.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Walter, and then even when Jason was there, Jason, was just learning the business side of things. But I don't want to get too much into characters here. But Joey Hamilton, obviously, he legendary tattoo artist.
Yeah.
Season 3 winner of Ink Master. Yeah, I mean, that one was a great one. And then I would say like our next major kind of like big brand that we kind of took over, but we really did a huge, not a brand refresh, but we took control of the brand, which probably was Saki Rock.
Yeah, that was really fun. I think what we were given was like breadcrumbs, and then we turned it into like this like 5-course meal. Like, you know what I
100%.
mean? Like, I think that's how I view that project. Is they already had a logo, but there was not really like a full brand identity. There wasn't full copy. Like, we didn't know the voice of it. We had an idea of what it would look like inside a little bit because they had opened, but it wasn't like fully developed.
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, remember the giant menus they had in the very beginning?
Yeah, they were huge. Yeah. Which I get they were trying to be funny with, but like it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, it was just too big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knocking over shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, but you know, that one was a very good one. And, you know, to this day, I still have people that hit me up saying, hey, Brian, how's Saki Rock doing? Or, hey, can you get me a reservation at Saki Rock?
Know.
And I'm like,
If
guys,
only.
it hasn't been open since COVID.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't know really the whole true reason why it hasn't reopened. It definitely wasn't because of lack of performance. Because that place was on fire going in.
Yeah.
Especially.
I like think about their rock shrimp all the time. I'm like, man, if only.
Pretty good.
It's so good.
You know, it's funny because what were those? Not jalapeno, the poppers?
Shishito peppers.
Shishito peppers.
They were really
I remember
good
it was like Russian roulette with those.
Yeah.
Because I don't like spicy.
I know.
At all. And like it would be like, but they were so good at the ones that weren't spicy. But I would be the guy that got the freaking spicy one. Because I would always nibble off the front part of it and just taste it.
Give it a try.
And I'm like, oh, this one's good.
Yeah.
Rest in my mouth. Yep. But the sushi was great. Everything was fresh. I mean, the presentation. I missed the shows.
Yeah.
I missed the entertainment. I mean, even I've watched a couple Super Bowl events there, a couple UFC fights there. I mean, they had 3 stories to that place. And the activation behind it. I mean, it was a good learning thing. Not really for us because I think that we already kind of knew how to operate that.
Yeah.
But for the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, just watching the team, like, you know, take ownership of like the event marketing of this, or hey, we need to come up with a new menu concept.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, because I think that was actually one of the biggest things that now Michelle.
Yep. Yeah. She designed their new menus. Yep.
Yeah. Which is an amazing. I would say like learning, but it was like that kind of like we kind of started seeing like the stars of our team shine from there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because even the website was incredible.
Yeah. It was very interactive. I think that was like one of the first websites that we made that was that artistically driven.
And and very interactive. You know, it's funny because another one that comes to mind was vintage pools.
Well, yeah.
So I remember when I got it. I don't know if maybe we'll put it on the comments down here, but vintagepoolslv.com. It's still up there, still the same homepage because the owner loved this so much. He asked us, this is 2015. This is a long time ago.
Yeah, this was one of our first clients too.
He wanted this one pool photo on the homepage, but he wanted his logo to look like if the pool was like kind of just moving a little bit, and it was ever so slight. And I remember it took us forever to figure out how to make that work on mobile, desktop, tablet. I mean, it just wasn't a thing. I mean, but you know, to lay it on top. But Mira figured it out. Oh, here we go.
There it is. Yep, see it.
Yep. So if you move it, it's just moving ever so slightly. and this is all he wanted. Yeah. And I remember at first.
And it looked so cool. I remember when Mira finally got it to work, I was like, what?
Oh,
this
yeah.
is so cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny because, you know, we're constantly, you know, Vintage Pools still being one of our, another one of our oldest clients, full service. You know, this is one website that we've really haven't had to refresh it too much.
Yeah.
Because it's just a very refreshing website altogether.
Yeah, we haven't really done too much since we built it the first time, as in like aesthetically. Like we haven't really changed the visuals too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, no need. I mean,
I
the interior of the website we've actually, you know, really developed off. But yeah, wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was cool to pull that up. But yeah, I mean, with all the different clients and all the different projects, I mean, you know, now it kind of goes on to like, we can get all the clients in the world, but now we have to have a team.
Yeah.
And just watching, some of the people that have been with us, they're like our kids.
For sure. Yeah, that's how I feel about them.
You have, Mira's been with us. She's our head of web, actually one of our partners now. We made her partner along with Michelle, which is now kind of like taking over, like your position.
Director roles. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And and then watching them develop their teams out.
Yeah.
It just, I love it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like heartwarming.
It is. I mean, especially when they're working on a project and like I'll be sitting in my office and I'll hear like a cheer.
Yeah.
And most of the time it comes from social, because social's always doing a lot of like reels and this.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God, it hit this many.
Yeah. It hit 10K, it hit 100K.
Yeah.
Like just because that's the pride that I really enjoy, kind of getting out of stuff. Because if we're hearing that internally, imagine how much love the client's getting
externally. Yeah, for sure.
100%. I mean, we every single client that comes in, what I really love the most is the feedback from like the owners of the company or whoever our point of contact is. And, it starts off with, hey, can I have a one-on-one with you? And I'm like, oh man, what happened? What did we fuck up on?
Yeah.
It's really not the first thing I think about anymore, but I'm like, yeah, what's up? They're like, I just have to say, man, I'm very, very happy with your team.
Yeah.
And a lot of them feel like, Brian, like how can you do all of these different clients, keep everything structured, keep everybody like and me feel, meaning the client, feel like I'm the only client.
Yeah.
I mean, because we're so on top of everything. And I would probably say if there's any secret sauce to any agency director or anybody who's running a marketing team, it's don't procrastinate.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You literally, when an email comes in, jump on it. When a phone call comes in, try to answer it as much as you can. And if you can't, literally send them a quick text saying, hey, I'll get back to you. Give me 15 minutes. Because sometimes what they're really trying to get out of you is a real quick question. The email could be something really simple.
Yeah.
And if it's something that takes a little bit longer, schedule a meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring in the people that we need to tackle this, making sure, because we used to have all of our weekly meetings with our clients, we'd have each department head in there.
Yeah.
And we started realizing that, sometimes that meeting was more design heavy, not so much with the web. And we're now taking away from them working on other projects.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
the larger we got, the less efficient that was.
Oh, 100%. So like we realized, okay, now we have a clients relations director, we have a projects director, and those two spearhead everything.
Yeah.
And the communication is so much better now.
Yeah, I think it's a lot cleaner.
Yeah. I mean, like literally they come out of a meeting and because in the meeting they're hitting their Trello boards and the Google sheets and updating all that, but getting all the information immediately over to each department.
Yeah.
Like, hey, the client wants us to focus more on this, or hey, can we maybe do more of a marketing push on this promotion?
Yeah.
Or this product or service.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and then really, I mean, to kind of even fast forward that, now we kind of expanded into Miami. Actually, today, I know this is going to be a time sensitive, and I hate, talking about time sensitive things because this probably won't be shown for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But we actually, are bringing on, one of our, I don't want to say first, but another addition to our team that's actually going to be in Miami. You actually got an opportunity to spend some time with her.
I'm super excited to have her a part of the team. Miami's always a great space to think about growth. I think that just Miami in general, when I hear that word, it feels like growth to me, and probably because that's where we've grown the most in the last couple of years. But meeting another person that's going to be developing that area, and it just brings a lot of excitement and that exciting energy.
It does.
Yeah, for sure.
And what's funny is that what I've learned over, I personally have learned this, is never judge a book by its cover. I probably, due to, I would say for example, I don't like going, I'm going to hire you because you have a Harvard degree.
Yeah,
I'm going to hire you because
never been like that.
Never.
Yeah, we've never done that.
It's always been personality.
Yeah.
It's always, can you come in, do you have the hunger, the drive, the personality, the creativeness, and can you just be a part of a family and be drama free? That's all I want, right? But like, you know, but yeah, I was just very impressed with like her background, and I never would have thought that from somebody, you know. But you know, even to fast forward from there, you know, now, you know, watching, I'm going to sit back and watch that market grow.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, the only it's a good thing and a bad thing, but mostly good thing is spending more time out in Miami, developing that out.
Yeah.
You know, especially when it's cold as hell right now, and out there, you know, it's still beach weather.
Is it really?
Well, actually, I think
like light sweater weather.
Light sweater weather, yeah, definitely not beanie weather. Yeah. I mean, like you can see me, like this is definitely not Vegas.
It's been cold.
This is definitely not happening in July right now. This conversation, me wearing a jacket and a beanie, is definitely not happening.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you know, like, so I would say like the one that I would say I'm most proud of over the last 3 years of watching it develop and really grow. Mm-hmm. Even though we had a lot of behind probably the parent brand is 11 Vodka.
Oh, absolutely. That's like probably when you were asking me like, what's your favorite project? Like that's the one that always comes up. Uh-huh. But like, I don't want to like always say that one. So I was trying to think of other ones.
Well, because 11 is such a huge brand in the hospitality world. And, and 11 Miami, you know, like the first 6 months to 9 months, like helping, you know, working really closely with their marketing team to develop a good Reels program, a story program, content creation program.
Yep.
You know, like that was, and now it's like on autopilot. Now, literally every single performance, every single this is all structured the same way.
Yeah.
And we're like a content machine now. It's just.
It's amazing what happens when you have structures in place.
No, 100%.
It really is, yeah.
But then with the 11 Vodka, you know, project, it was like, oh yeah, hey, we can use the 11 Miami name, which is good, but not necessarily in South Florida because there's a lot of competition there.
Yeah.
But we actually figured out that a lot of people still want to carry it. They still want to get behind it. There's a few other majorly competing brands or venues that are like absolutely not.
Well, yeah.
And I get that. I mean, I wouldn't want to, if I had a Tal Vodka, I'm not going to put it at the Wynn Hotel, you know.
It doesn't make sense, yeah.
It doesn't make sense. But yeah, just watching that whole thing grow and
and then also like seeing where we started with it because it literally just developed right when we started working with them.
Yeah, because it was like October.
A couple months. It wasn't a year, was it?
Well, yeah. I mean, the technically the anniversary or the born on date was October of 2020.
Yeah.
And I think we started taking it over in like March of 2021.
Yeah.
And mainly because, you know, they had the, you know, 11 did, you know, when COVID happened, everybody kind of went into a hiatus or, you know, into downsizing, you know, to protect everything. 11 still had their marketing team.
Yeah.
A lot of them still intact.
Yeah, they were still there. Yeah.
And they were focusing on helping develop out that brand.
Yeah.
But then October of 2020, I think it was around Halloween is when they reopened.
Yeah. So they needed more help, and they were looking for an outside agency to assist with that.
Exactly.
So it was like super new. Mm-hmm. Yes, there was like assets already like developed, and there was like programs already in place and that kind of thing. But like seeing where it's at now is like a whole nother picture.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And it was a huge team effort.
For sure,
from the partners of 11 that were assisting on some of the branding and marketing. Mm-hmm. You know, but 11 Vodka, a lot of people don't know this, but 11 Vodka is actually owned by the wives, 100% of all the partners of 11. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was Michael Simpkins' wife, Nikki, that she's the CEO. And, you know, she is what I really like about her, she holds you accountable.
Yeah, she's a rock star. Yeah.
She's a huge rock star.
Yeah.
You know, and then they brought in Denise Garcia, and she worked for the 11 brand for many years. I think 3 or 4 years before that. Yeah. So, you know, keeping that whole 11 mentality, it really helped out. And then just coming in and just knocking out of the park. And then showing what we did with that was easy transition into working with the actual brand 11. Yep. A lot of the other verticals from 11 Ape to 11 Sound to obviously Gold Rush, which is another brand. But But that to me, like just watching that whole thing grow, like it was such a team effort between all parties, 11 Marketing,
for sure, yeah.
The team at 11 Vodka, ourselves, like putting everybody together and
we learned a lot. That was the first liquor brand we ever worked with, like on that scale.
Yeah.
So like seeing how all of those pieces work together and then being able to like figure out how do we fine tune these pieces, or what other assets can we create, or what other messaging do we need to include in order to not just have this be a Miami based brand.
100%.
Like how do we get this out of there? Like we want it to be national. So how do we grow to that space? So that was really cool.
And we're actually there now. We're at that point now where, and it's up to the powers that be at 11 Vodka now to make those decisions on when we're going to grow into other markets. But we're
capable.
We're capable, and we're really, really, really excited for that growth at some point.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's another one. I mean, and then we just developed out the brand Wet.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
That's an amazing one too.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because that's what a lot of those fine dining luxury restaurants are going to, is adding entertainment.
Yeah.
Adding
an experience. Yeah, people want experiences.
Yeah. I mean, because I think the days of like going to to like the old Morton Steakhouse and or very like upscale, like I don't say stuffy.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a time and a place that you want to go to those fine dining places.
Yeah.
Maybe on an anniversary date, or you want to propose, or you're on a date and you want it to be quiet and you want to focus on like getting to know somebody. Perfect. But if you're on that second, third, fourth, fifth date, bam.
They're looking for a not just good food, but a really good time.
Entertainment, fun, over the top. It reminds me of a lot of like the Greek restaurants when they're throwing the plates on the ground, and I mean, all the way through. I mean, it's just a party.
Yeah.
With amazing food.
Yeah.
And we got the opportunity. And I remember at the 9th hour, well, actually not 9th hour, it'd be the 11th hour, like right before we're about to say, hey, this is what the brand looks like.
Yeah.
It was like,
I think we should change
I think we should change the logo.
I'm like, Brian.
But
it worked. It was a good call.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it took a lot of people. It took the owner. It took the managing partner, to the operators, to all kind of come together. Not everybody was on the same page.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was the right move.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Yeah, I think But I mean, just watching that place. I mean, just this past weekend, a good friend of mine in Miami was like, hey, can you get me a reservation at Wet? And I'm like, sure, what time? He's like, 9:30. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, I'll put it in just for 2 people. All right, no problem. Come to find out, he tried to make a reservation and it was booked up. It was overbooked.
Yeah, that's solid. Crazy. That's awesome. Yay. How fun.
So, I mean.
And they haven't even been open that long.
No, they opened up the Halloween weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So they're going on 3 months.
Yep. And they're
already to that point.
Yep. That's amazing.
And I think, again, that has a lot to do with the team that they have in place there.
For sure.
Of course, creating a marketing and branding, like we like to, on our side, take a lot of credit.
That was all us.
Yep, that's us.
It doesn't work like that, people.
But the thing, though, is that the owner of the property, he's very intelligent, and he comes from a business background. He comes from building large scale hospitality. He one of the biggest hospitality brands on the East Coast.
Yeah.
But he, what I like is that he's like, okay, what's next?
Yeah, he's always looking for the next thing.
Not like, okay, hey, you guys got us there. Okay, bye.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think that's where you lose things. If things are like, I asked him flat out. I said, what's your ultimate goal?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we're still trying to define that. And I said, well, can I make a suggestion? And he's like, fire away. I said, listen, if you're Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are all solid, meaning that you're at least at a 90% plus booking rate.
Yeah.
Can we agree that we did our job, and then we can start talking about doing a Sunday brunch, a Tuesday activation. Like, let's really can we agree to that? And he's like, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And we're very close of already hitting that goal.
Yeah.
Like, we're very close.
That's so awesome.
It is, right?
Yeah, that's so cool.
But then we got the next project with him.
Yeah. Can we talk about that?
Well, I mean, I guess we could talk about the most obvious. It's already wrapped on the building.
Oh, yeah, I guess the name's already out there.
Yeah. So on the corner of Flagler and Biscayne Boulevard, in a very high density district in Miami, right across from Bayfront Park. If anybody is watching this is familiar with the Miami area or lives down there, Flagler, Biscayne, the northwest corner, there's a building, and you probably see a bunch of, looks like people from Burning Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's actually a photo shoot we did over a year ago now.
Yeah.
Here in Vegas. But yeah, the name of the restaurant is called Dust.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that one.
Yes, I am too.
I think it's just going to be like over the top. Like it's going to literally like blow everybody's socks off.
I remember being out there, I don't know, probably like 6 months ago now. And the owner, Brent, giving me the tour of it. Mm-hmm. And I remember I took a video of it. And I sent it back to you, and you said, oh, my gosh, that place is humongous.
Yeah, it's huge. I can only imagine how they're going to design that. And, like, how intense it's going to be. You know what I mean? Because, okay, so the theme of the space is kind of like post-apocalyptic meets luxury lifestyle. So, like, it's the photo shoot that we did was more so, like, desert. We literally created a whole entire restaurant in the desert. We had these huge, extravagant chairs and like a dining setup, and then people eating raw steaks in post-apocalyptic gear.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like, it's like fine dining meets the end of the world. And that's what the space is going to look like also. So it's going to be like a desert, dust, right? But then there's going to be like just this art that represents like post-apocalyptic times, and like how do we bring luxury to that space? Like how do we make people see that? And Brent even talked about having like a Lambo that's like decked out like Mad Max in there. And it's just going to be crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think if you go, Mr. Engineer, if you go back one page, if you go down to the third link, where it says Dust Miami coming 2023.
That's it.
Yeah, click on that. There you go.
Yeah, you can kind of see the photo in the background. So like.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, this is the art of food, art of survival.
Yeah.
And literally, what I really liked, because again, the owner of Wet, Brent, he's got a great vision for things.
Yeah, he's very artistic.
So he's like, if the world ended post-apocalyptic, nuclear fallout, zombie apocalypse, all the above, but you still want to be fabulous, and you're just cruising through the desert, all right? And
where are all the it people gonna go?
Exactly, they're going to Dust.
Yeah.
And I remember, and I'm glad. I remember the first concept logo that he gave us. Literally the first thing that came to mind was, oh no, hell no, no.
Michelle, and your voice was like,
oh no. By the way, we got to cut that one, and we got to put that on repeat and just send it to Michelle, because she'll get it. But no, I remember who came up with this logo.
I did.
Oh,
yes.
Round of applause! Thank you. Yeah, no, great. I mean, I remember when we presented it to him, he like literally said, "You guys went over the top.
Yeah,
you guys hit it out of the park." But yeah, I remember. Yeah, this is gonna
be a very fun brand. It's gonna be good.
Yeah,
it's like Wet, just the opposite. You know what I mean? Like that's what I like about the concepts is like they're the same experience in a sense that you're dining in a space that's going to have like
either underwater or in post-apocalyptic.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a theme. Like there's like such like a setting for it. Like everything would fit together in that space, like how Wet does. Like not only do the entertainers fit in the theme or the food, but the plating, the textures on the wall, the lighting that's in there, like the names of things that are on the menu, like everything falls inside of this theme that creates a huge experience. And I really think that that's what people are looking for, especially when they're going out with people. Like a large group of people are wanting to experience a restaurant that's not just food. You know what I mean? Like we're not just going there for the food anymore.
Yeah, no, 100. I 100% agree with you. I mean, but that leads me kind of to like a Vegas client that we have, Saffron.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it is funny because me and Alicia met the owners of Saffron on a different project.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that didn't really come to, I don't want to say that it didn't come to fruition, but I think they went in a different direction with it. Mm-hmm. And then COVID happened. So like a lot of things kind of got put on hold there. But all of a sudden I remember we get a phone call requesting that both Brian and Alicia come to this meeting. And we're like, okay, what? And the fact that they both called us out by names.
Yeah.
You know, I guess if you did your research and you went to our website, you can see who the owners are of the company. And but it felt like there was either a setup there, or that we knew them.
Yeah.
And I remember we show up and it was like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
Tony and Mike.
Yeah.
And it was like, but we walk in. So the setup, to kind of give you a visual of Saffron. Saffron's on the edge of Chinatown, here in Las Vegas, and you kind of pull up, and it's in a weird kind of like shopping center.
Yeah, like the building's a little weird.
It's just
a weird shape.
Yeah, it's kind of like a horseshoe-ish kind of shape, right next to a 7-Eleven on the corner.
Yeah.
But we're like, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
As soon as you walk in, you're in a whole nother world.
Yeah, it's like over the top beautiful, the wall textures.
Oh, just everything about it.
Everything in that space is gorgeous.
They have an amazing water feature in the middle. I would say there's a river running through it, but it's not really a river, but it's just beautiful. Even that art piece is above.
Yeah, with the ginkgo leaves.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a beautiful space.
So the concept of that is vegetarian meets vegan, but more, I would say, is more on the vegan friendly side. Mm-hmm. But vegetarian.
Yeah.
Fine dining restaurant.
Yeah.
And there really isn't that much out there in Las Vegas when it comes to that type of eating. Like
I honestly don't know of another one, but I also don't search for that either.
Yeah, there's only one place that's opened up after.
Oh, okay.
That place at Resort World.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's called like Crossover or Crossroads. Crossroads.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's great for that. But I remember going in and we got them a week after they opened, or actually no, a week before they opened. It was 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
And they were opening up.
I think
it was a
we
week
met
after.
with them right after
they opened.
Because they were like, it was crap. Remember? They were like unhappy with all the lead up to it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, there was the hype was not there.
Yeah, they weren't satisfied with that. Yeah.
And I remember we pretty much started at like almost like zero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the thing is that, you know, we try to keep the operations and out of like the marketing side of things. Like we're not going to be like, oh, well, we're going to make you millions of dollars.
No, but we want to encourage like our efforts to help them get to that place.
Well, because the thing is that you want to get to that point where they're profitable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because obviously they got to write us a check too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just watching them grow into the brand that they are now. I mean, we literally just took the logo and ran with the brand.
Yeah.
And redeveloped the website, redeveloped the entire brand. And now we're, you know, the content that we create there. I mean, I know that the team here really loves and enjoy working with their team.
Yeah.
You know, Ariana, the CEO, which actually I'm going to be doing a podcast with very soon.
Yeah.
But then we also have their sister company, which is what actually I think it started first. Well, they bought it first.
Yeah, they
Ramen.
already had that developed first. Yeah.
And then, you know, that one's here in Las Vegas. Literally, you're out at night. You want good ramen to kind of like go in your tummy before you go to bed.
Yeah.
That's literally, I think, how the brand really blew up.
Yeah, because it's 24 hours. It's late night ramen.
Yeah, but it's great for lunch. It's great for dinner. I mean, we order it here, Uber Eats, you know, every once in a while. But the
that visually is like a fun brand.
Well, yeah, because they have the whole anime.
Yeah, like the styles of everything and like how everything fits together, the voice of it. It's very like fun and lively. Yeah,
no,
that
for
was
sure.
a good one to get.
And then the fact that, you know, they're not just here in Vegas, but they've expanded out to other markets, Houston, Nashville. You know, there are some talk of them wanting to go hit the South Florida market in the future with both brands, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. So I think there's a few more things, I's dotted, T's crossed, that they're trying to do on their side. But that's a really fun brand.
Yeah.
I like working with them a lot. I mean, like literally, we could talk about every client that we have, and because they're all kind of our favorites. In different ways. So if you're watching this and you're a client of ours, and we didn't mention you, it's because we're saving the best for last. But no, I mean, but with all that history and everything, you know, it sometimes I still kind of sit back and I'll be here, I'll be the last one to leave, and I'm sitting in my office and I just look out and I'm like, man, we have come a long way.
Oh yeah.
Since working at my dining room table at Turnberry.
Mm-hmm.
But
I feel like we've grown a lot as people too. Like you kind of have to.
Well, I mean, no, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we I actually really enjoy the fact that you've taken what you've learned through your experiences and you were able to develop your own brand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Earth Moon Medicine is, was something that you created and you're really like heavily developing it, and you got a lot of other really cool things. I'm not really sure, like, what's it called when you consult with somebody and you're like, hey, I got headaches.
Like custom formulation?
Yeah, what is that?
Like herbal practitioner.
Practitioner.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for, and I was like, I'm forgetting this word. But yeah, I mean, you're training to do that, mm-hmm. or I don't know, are you already there yet?
Technically, I could be, but I'm also continuing education.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Which is awesome because, I mean, that's passion that you've always had.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even from your mom. I mean, I think your mom, you probably got a little bit from your mom, and then you took it and you kind of ran with it the way you wanted
absolutely,
to.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, like, I love the most important thing that, I love it when people grow.
Yeah.
And you know that.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we've seen that from the very beginning of when we started working together.
Yeah.
Like not only each other, like watching each other grow through this process and like seeing how we each like can take on certain things and kind of like shift and adjust each other and like talk through stuff and whatnot, but also seeing like our employees grow and like they come to us and they're newly out of college and they're like learning all these things and they're super excited and then they find another opportunity that like lets them grow into something else. I've never once felt mad about that. Like when somebody's like, hey, I'm leaving, I'm going to this other thing, I'm like, that is amazing. Like, yes, we want people to grow. Over
the last 8-9 years, I can't think of anybody, and I'm really, really, really trying to think, that anybody that just did us dirty. Nobody.
No.
I mean, we had people like, say, hey, I know it's going to put you guys in a pickle.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's our.
Yeah, that's what we have to deal with.
Like, yeah, we have to deal with that because we're the owners.
We chose this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I'm happy with where we're at, and I'm proud of us.
I am too.
Yeah.
I mean, I from the very beginning to now, I always visioned that we'd have a very small team of people. Mm-hmm. We'd have a handful of small clients. I never thought we would grow it to what we grew it to.
Yeah, no, me neither.
No.
Never in a million years.
And the thing is that, it just takes a lot of patience, development, watching people develop themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, the hardest thing, and even, I'm sure there's an inside joke that I'm probably not privileged to, but it's probably, like I used to be involved in every single aspect. And not that I'm wrong or right or, but I'm very particular on like how I like things.
Yeah.
And, but just being able to empower, like, okay, you're the department head, you make that decision.
Yeah. It's like letting go is like a very difficult thing.
It
really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even you had I wouldn't say you had a problem with it. But
no, it's just difficult. It's just a difficult thing to figure out.
Especially when you developed it.
Yeah.
Or you had that relationship with the person.
Exactly.
That's the hard part.
That's what makes it hard is like being that person to talk to the client and like having the communication with the client. And then when the client comes to you for something, like that's like an extra level of like, not just stress, but like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like ownership. Mm-hmm. Like, so, and then I have to have somebody else do it. Like that's a whole like separate struggle of emotions to go through.
Well, and plus you're a designer.
Yeah.
And you're an artist.
Yeah.
So like that's even harder because I would have to think because like I'm thinking like, okay, this is how I would want to do it.
You already think that you have it figured out, and then you have to hand it off to this other person and be like, hey, I need you to create this or develop this with some guidelines or whatever, but then you just got to let it go. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, the thing is that, I mean, obviously we worked together since day one. So I got very comfortable with working with you.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my challenges, which I'm well overcome, was now having to work with multiple people.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because it was easy for me to go, Alisha, no. Let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, like, what do you think of this? You know, and really being able to, you know, communicate that to somebody.
Yeah, it develops your personal communication.
It does.
Because, like, you get comfortable with the way that you can talk to somebody and, like, they just pick it up. But then you have to, like, figure out everybody else's communication skills in order to be able to, like, relay the message properly.
100%.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I love watching just individual people take ownership of things. Like, even this podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
huge.
I mean, we decided, hey, we're going to make a podcast studio. We didn't really know what we wanted to do. It was actually a buddy of mine that actually already had on the podcast, Bo, was like, hey, I want to, we had the studio area, and he's like, hey, if I buy a bunch of equipment, you know, can I do a podcast out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's definitely not none of the equipment that we have here now.
Yeah.
I think maybe the headphones, but like that, I think that's pretty much it. But anyways, but he gave us the idea, hey, you know, let's actually invest some real money into it and kind of see where we can take it. And I think we did like 4 or 5 episodes just to kind of, you know, get our bearings.
Just like get the feel of it, figure out what we're doing, what's not working.
And then the team kind of came back and said, all right, hold on a second.
Listen here, buddies.
All right. How well do you really like this podcast? Because we can really do it the right way. We can make the artwork right. We can lay it out. We can have a content schedule. We could do it, you know, the right way.
Yeah.
And I remember someone coming to me, I don't remember who it was, and they said, hey, can we set up a meeting for a presentation for SKC Live? Mm-hmm. And I said, sure. And I'm honestly thinking like, hey, let's make it more visual like this. Let's make it more like this. Less of this. No, it was a whole, like if SKC was a client or SKC Live was a client, a whole rundown of everything. And, you know, just taking ownership of that, you couldn't be more proud.
No, absolutely. And I think that that's like something I love when people do. And I feel like that's a trait that we've always looked for in employees or just people. No degree really does much. Like, yes, if you have a technical skill as like a designer or a web developer, that matters. However, like personality, drive, ownership, like all of those characteristics is really what makes somebody a great marketer. You know, like
for sure.
You need to utilize all of those life skills. And then being a part of a team and taking ownership of things allows the team to grow even further.
And 100% what you just said. But the only thing I would add to it is sometimes it's very difficult for people, especially designers or web creators, to want to be a part of a team.
Oh, for sure.
Because they're in their mind, they're like, no, that I want to design it like this.
Yeah.
And sometimes the client's like, no, actually, let's do it this way. Sometimes people take it personal.
Yeah,
they're
for
like,
sure. Yeah.
They're like, oh, you don't like my design?
Yeah, it's like,
F off. You know what I mean? And it's like from an agency standpoint versus doing it solo is completely different.
Yeah.
You know, because you have to kind of conform to that. But I think that's where the team kind of comes in. And it's like, you know, we present a concept. So the client's like, fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Don't take it personal.
Yep.
It's not you. You know, what do you hate? And sometimes it's something is I don't like the font. Okay, so if we change the font, you're going to love it? Yeah. Okay, so you didn't fucking hate it. You just didn't like the font.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So so sometimes, but the team will back each other up.
Yes,
hey,
absolutely.
hey, let me take a crack at this. Hey, let me, let me make a couple suggestions.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
it's amazing.
8-9 years, another 8-9 years.
Yeah.
I think we have a great team, great family, and I'm very excited to kind of see what 2023 brings.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Feels like a big year.
It is.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
Well, always a pleasure.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for always believing in me, and thank you for helping me build this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
couldn't have done it with anybody else.
I couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah, there's no way.
No way. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I can be a pain in the ass sometimes, and she dealt with it. And throughout the years, if
I'm
there's
a
anybody,
pretty big pain in the ass too sometimes.
well, but we kind of governed it together. But I couldn't have but we learned each other.
Yeah.
We learned, even to this day, like there's things that would probably have set us off 6 years ago.
For sure.
And we just were like, nope, that's just how she is, or that's how he is.
Yep.
Which is great.
Yeah. Proud of us.
Pound it out. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, that was another amazing episode of SKC Live, and tune in for the next episode. Actually, no, hold on. We can't tune in for the next episode. This is actually the last one of the season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, we're actually really excited about the lineup that we're going to be doing next season. Oh, some of the guests.
Super exciting.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yay.
We actually, I can talk a little bit to the audience here, but this studio is actually set up pretty unique. Like the TV you see here is great, but we also have another TV I can actually watch. This actually this TV here with a camera, so we can actually bring people in live.
Yeah.
Like on a Zoom.
Oh.
Yeah, so we can bring them in here. They can actually see us, like if they're here, and we can interact with them. I don't have to sit there and be like, "Hey, yeah, how you doing?"
Yeah, you can talk to them that way.
Yeah, because I mean, for the split screen things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we got the amazing things coming on the next.
Stay tuned for season 2.
That's right.
So exciting.
All right, I'm out.
Bye.
Bye.